on a chilling December night in 1978, and the stage was set at JFK Airport's Lufthansa Airlines cargo terminal. It was a dark night, and only in just 1 hour, a group of 6 robbers managed to take $5 million in money that couldn't be traced. In today's money, it would be $22.4 million. They also took $800,000 worth of expensive jewelry, which is worth $3.6 million today. This incredible robbery made them famous not just in America, but all over the world. And guess what? They didn't even fire a single gunshot and nobody got hurt badly or died. So how did they plan and do it so well? Let's start from beginning. It was an incredibly clever and well-planned heist that became famous in the world of crime. The person behind it was James Burke, who was associated with the notorious Lucchese crime family in New York City. With careful precision and skill, Burke assembled a team of individuals with special talents to carry out this daring operation. It all started with a seemingly innocent conversation between Martin Krugman, an experienced bookmaker, and Henry Hill, a trusted friend of Burke. During their chat, Krugman shared a fascinating secret. The German airline Lufthansa regularly transported huge amounts of money to a highly secure cargo terminal located at the complex John F. Kennedy International Airport. But this valuable information didn't just fall into Krugman's lap. It came from 2 interesting characters, Louis Werner and Peter Gruenwald, who both worked at the busy airport. Werner, burdened by a massive gambling debt of $20,000 owed to Krugman, which would be an impressive $97,000 in 2022, couldn't keep this secret to himself any longer. And Gruenwald, who had already successfully stolen $22,000 in foreign currency from Lufthansa back in 1976, equivalent to an impressive $113,000 in 2022, was Werner's partner in crime. A group of individuals was chosen to carry out the daring robbery. Burke handpicked Tommy DeSimone, Angelo Sepe, Louis Cafora, Joe Manry, and Robert McMahon for this daring mission. But this wasn't your typical gang. Each person had a specific role and responsibility in the complex scheme. To ensure everything went smoothly, Burke enlisted the help of his son Frank, who would drive one of the backup vehicles. Parnell Stacks Edwards was also assigned a crucial task, getting rid of the van after the operation ended. Each participant was promised a reward based on their level of involvement in the daring task. Depending on the specific role they took on, the cuts ranged from $10,000 to a whopping $50,000. It's important to note that these amounts were originally estimated based on a loot of $2 million. However, the actual take exceeded all expectations, reaching an astounding $5.875 million. As a result, the distribution of rewards had to be significantly adjusted from the initial estimates. Amidst this well-crafted plot, another character comes into play, Werner. While the rest of the team would receive a percentage of the stolen money, Werner's compensation was different. He received something way more valuable, the like and subscribe button. So don't forget to subscribe for more content. Now back to his real take. He was guaranteed a flat 10% of the total amount, regardless of how much was ultimately stolen. On a Monday morning, December 11th, 1978, at around 3 a.m., a black Ford Econoline van smoothly pulled up in front of Building 261, which was an important cargo terminal for Lufthansa at Kennedy Airport. Inside the van were 6 individuals who had their big plans for a profitable robbery. They had powerful bolt cutters and wasted no time breaking the lock at the gate, giving themselves unauthorized entry. Some members of the crew were very careful and sneaky. They climbed the stairs of the tower on the eastern side, wearing ski masks and gloves to hide their identities. They were determined not to leave any evidence behind. Meanwhile, a new Buick car sat quietly in the large parking lot of the terminal, which would later become a puzzling clue for investigators. Inside the complex terminal, the first person to be caught by the crew was John Murray, a senior cargo agent who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Under pressure from the intimidating intruders, he reluctantly went with them to the small lunchroom. Little did he know, 5 other Lufthansa employees were on their well-deserved meal break since 3 a.m., completely unaware of the danger lurking around them. The crew wasted no time taking control and ordered the captive workers to lie down on the floor with their eyes closed, feeling a mix of fear and confusion. The captors were desperate to get valuable information from their helpless victims. They specifically wanted to know where two people were: Rudy Eyrich, the respected manager of night shift cargo traffic, and Carrie Whalen, a highly valuable cargo transfer agent. Murray, who was forced to become an informant, reluctantly disclosed that both Eyrich and Whalen were present in the large warehouse. He had no idea that this unintentional act would forever connect the lives of everyone involved, sealing their destinies within the confines of this significant robbery. Using Murray as an unwilling pawn, the captors came up with a complicated plan to lure Eyrich into their trap. With each step, the participants became more entangled in this high-stakes game of deception, their lives controlled by forces beyond their control. Eyrich, unaware of the sinister plot against him, climbed the staircase, completely oblivious to the darkness that awaited him on the upper floor, where his fellow captives anxiously awaited his arrival. As Whalen approached the busy terminal, he noticed two people sitting casually in a black van near the loading ramp. Curiosity got the best of him, so he parked his vehicle and went closer to see what was happening. With confidence, he walked towards the mysterious van, excited about what he might discover. To his surprise, one of the people in the van signaled him to come inside. It seemed risky and dangerous. Whalen's instincts told him not to accept the invitation, so he ran away, shouting for help. Unfortunately, he was quickly stopped when one of them hit him with a pistol, knocking him out. Helpless, he was forced into the van. At the same time, Rolf Rebman, an employee in the warehouse, heard a disturbance near the loading ramp. Curiosity drove him to investigate and find out what was going on. He was captured just like Whalen and brought to the lunchroom, joining the other hostages. Eyrich, an innocent victim, was held at gunpoint and forced to do as they demanded. The robbers moved through the building, heading to a vault filled with valuable items. They took 72 heavy boxes, each containing a lot of money that couldn't be traced. Their plan was successful, and they loaded the stolen goods into the same van where Whalen and Rolf were held captive. The van now carried their ill-gotten gains, making it heavier and full of their criminal triumph. In the early morning, at 4:21 a.m., a van quietly approached a building, followed closely by a crash car. Two determined gunmen smoothly got into the van, while their partners settled into a fancy Buick car. The employees were given a strange instruction that added a sense of mystery and secrecy to the situation. They were told not to contact the Port Authority police until 4:30 a.m., a carefully chosen time for making the first emergency call. The reason for this odd instruction was unknown, leaving the employees curious and guessing. Without wasting any time, the daring robbers set off on a bold adventure. Their vehicles moved forward toward a specific destination, a meeting with Mr. Burke at an auto repair shop in Canarsie, Brooklyn. It was at this seemingly ordinary place that the next part of their well-planned scheme would unfold. As the van stopped at the auto repair shop, the carefully acquired boxes of money were carefully taken out, making sure not to leave any evidence behind. These bundles of money held the dreams and ambitions of many people. They were quickly transferred to the trunks of two other cars. Showing strong family loyalty, Mr. Burke and his faithful son chose one of the cars for their escape. With confidence and careful planning, they smoothly merged into the busy city streets, blending into the crowd and hiding their true destination. Meanwhile, the other four individuals, Manry, McMahon, Desimone, and Sepe, were given the responsibility of driving the second car. They felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as they embarked on a separate path, navigating the city's streets with skill and determination. Only they knew where they were heading. In an unexpected twist, Edwards, who had an important task at hand, was given clear instructions to take the van to New Jersey and destroy it in John Gotti's junkyard, but things didn't go as planned. For reasons unknown, Edwards decided to do something different. Instead of going to New Jersey, he parked the mysterious black Ford van right in front of a fire hydrant at his girlfriend's place. Little did he know that this choice would have serious consequences, like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. In the following 2 eventful days, the van sat silently parked, completely unaware of the trouble that was about to come its way. Eventually, the authorities stumbled upon the van, standing alone and solemn, like finding a needle in a haystack. It was lucky that the vigilant police force discovered this important piece of the puzzle. Upon closer examination, they realized that the van had stolen license plates, clearly an attempt to hide its true identity. This wasn't just an ordinary van, it held evidence of a significant crime. Without wasting any time, the authorities seized the van, hoping to uncover the hidden secrets inside its cold metal shell. In their determined search for the truth, the investigators made a surprising discovery. The fingerprints of someone named Stacks were found on the van's surface, directly connecting him to the robbery that had caused shockwaves in the community. The different pieces of this complex puzzle were slowly falling into place, connecting individuals to their actions and bringing justice closer. The revelation of Stacks's fingerprints set off a series of events that would forever alter the lives of those involved. The news reached Paul Vario, a powerful figure in organized crime known as a Lucchese Capo. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, Vario, a clever strategist, gave a chilling order to Desimone, one that would seal Edward's fate. Following Vario's instructions, Desimone set off on a dangerous mission driven by loyalty and duty. Hidden in the darkness, he carefully tracked down Edward's elusive hiding place, planning his approach with precision. Accompanied by Sepe, a trusted companion who shared the weight of this difficult task, Desimone courageously stepped into the unknown, feeling a mix of fear and unwavering determination in their hearts. In the blink of an eye, a tense and dangerous confrontation unfolded. When they finally found Edwards, something terrible happened. Gunshots broke the silence, and Edwards was killed. 5 bullets hit him, ending his life and sealing his fate as a notorious figure in history. With remarkable investigative prowess, the FBI swiftly zeroed in on the Burke crew as the top suspects behind the daring heist within just 3 days. Their conclusion was based on the crucial discovery of the van and Edwards' known connections to the crew at the notorious Roberts Lounge, which strongly pointed toward their involvement. Eager to unravel the truth, FBI agents wasted no time and employed a wide range of surveillance techniques to closely monitor the crew's activities. They strategically deployed helicopters to keep a watchful eye from above and placed bugs with meticulous precision in not only their vehicles but also the phones at Roberts Lounge. They went the extra mile by not overlooking the nearby payphones, ensuring that no potentially significant conversations slipped through the cracks. Despite the difficulties of loud background noise and secret discussions, the FBI was able to capture bits of interesting conversations that gave a glimpse into the hidden world of the crew. One conversation that stood out was when Sepe shared information with an unknown person. He mentioned a brown case and a bag from Lufthansa, which sparked curiosity and increased speculation about the stolen items. In another talk with his girlfriend, Sepe expressed a strong desire to find the hidden riches. He pondered the idea of searching the basement or exploring the mysterious depths of the backyard to uncover hidden treasures. However, some parts of the conversation were unclear, leaving room for speculation and further investigation. Unfortunately, even though the recorded conversation seemed interesting, they didn't provide the FBI with the solid proof they needed to link the crew to the bold heist. This made it hard for them to obtain the necessary search warrants to investigate further. As a result, the FBI faced a difficult situation, requiring more evidence to strengthen their case and bridge the gap between suspicion and undeniable proof. The choice to hold back on search warrants showed the ongoing pursuit of justice by the dedicated FBI agents as they continued their relentless investigation, hoping for a breakthrough. After the heist, it became clear that Burke was getting more and more paranoid, as Hill explained. He couldn't ignore the attention brought by Edward's failure, so he made a chilling choice: get rid of anyone who might link him to the crime. Even though there wasn't much solid evidence, the authorities remained determined to achieve justice. Gradually, they gathered enough evidence to prosecute Werner, who played a part in planning the heist. Werner was the only person convicted of the robbery and faced the consequences of his involvement when he received a 15-year prison sentence in 1979. This was an important step in holding someone responsible for their actions. Looking back, it's understandable that Lucchese family associate Donald Francos felt frustrated. He had a close friendship with Burke and regularly frequented Robert's lounge, but he had no direct involvement in the heist. This left him with a sense of dissatisfaction and a detachment from the notorious events that unfolded. Francos's perspective provides a glimpse into the complex dynamics and intricate relationships surrounding this high-profile crime, reminding us of the interconnected lives of those affected by its consequences. During the investigation, Whalen had a significant moment when he looked at a group of pictures from the police records. It was at that time that he made an important discovery. Whalen confidently recognized one of the people who attacked him as Sepe, which was a crucial breakthrough in identifying those involved in the heist. This identification helped put the pieces together and uncover the identities of the individuals responsible for the daring crime. After the frightening experience, Eirik shared a surprising detail about the robbers. It became clear that they had a deep understanding of the vault's safety systems. They knew exactly how the double-door system worked, where one door had to be closed before the other could be opened without triggering the alarm. With this knowledge, the robbers gave Eirik specific instructions. They demanded that he open the first door, which led to a small room measuring 10 by 20 feet. They were well aware that if Eirik opened the second door, it would set off an alarm, alerting the Port Authority police unit at the airport. On January 23, 2014, Vincent Asaro, a high-ranking member of the Bonanno crime family, was arrested for his supposed involvement in the famous Lufthansa heist. What made this arrest even more interesting was that Asaro's own cousin, Gaspare Valenti, testified against him during the trial. This family betrayal added an extra layer of complexity to the case and made it even more captivating. During the trial, the evidence heavily relied on the testimony of an informant who Asaro's lawyer described as one of the worst witnesses I've ever seen. This raised doubts about the informant's credibility and the reliability of the information provided. As the trial went on, the courtroom became a battlefield, with intense arguments and cross-examinations aiming to uncover the truth and expose any inconsistencies in the witness's story. Finally, on November 12, 2015, the jury in Brooklyn reached their verdict, bringing a moment of dramatic resolution. Vincent Asaro was found not guilty of all charges related to the heist. This unexpected outcome had a significant impact on the legal system and left many questioning the mysterious nature of justice. However, even after the trial's end, a mystery remains unsolved. The stolen cash and jewelry have never been found. Their disappearance continues to captivate minds, leaving open the possibility that they are still hidden somewhere, patiently waiting to be discovered. In a frightening twist, Burke realized something shocking. Edward's careless mistake of leaving the van had unintentionally made their crew visible to the police. Filled with fear and a determination to protect himself, Burke made a dangerous choice. His plan of eliminating anyone who could connect him to the heist came into action. This decision led to a series of murders, effectively silencing most of the people involved in planning and carrying out the heist. As a result, the already small amount of evidence connecting Burke and his crew to the bold robbery decreased, leaving only a few witnesses. Sadly, the first person to suffer from Burke's evil plan was Edwards himself. Just 1 week after the heist, Edwards met a tragic end in his own apartment. Desimone and Sepe, without any mercy, ruthlessly took his life, shattering the silence with the sound of gunshots on December 18th. This cruel act was only the beginning of a series of brutal killings orchestrated by Burke. On the day of December 18, 1978, a man named Parnell Stephen Edwards, also known as Stax, met a tragic end. Edwards was a man of many talents, including being a skilled blues musician, an expert in credit card theft, and a crucial driver for the getaway van. However, little did he know that his involvement in the audacious heist would lead to his own downfall. As we know, Edwards made a fatal mistake by not properly getting rid of the getaway van, which unknowingly attracted the attention of the authorities and put the Burke crew in the spotlight. This oversight caused a wave of worry and fear among the crew as they grew increasingly concerned about getting caught. To address these mounting anxieties, Desimone and Sepe, driven by a chilling determination, made the chilling choice to get rid of Edwards. They had two reasons for their actions. First, to prevent Edwards from potentially sharing important information if he were caught, and second, to divert suspicion away from the crew by removing any evidence of their involvement. In a cold and calculated act, Desimone and Sepe ended Edwards' life, forever silencing him and leaving behind unanswered questions. On January 6, 1979, a man named Martin Krugman, who was connected to Burke and Hill, faced a tragic fate. Krugman owned two interesting businesses in Queens, a wig shop and a men's hair salon, both called For Men Only. Little did he know that his association with Burke and Hill would lead him into danger and eventually to his death. Krugman played an important role in the unfolding of events surrounding the Lufthansa heist. He was the first person to inform Burke through Hill about the exciting opportunity for a major heist at the Lufthansa terminal. His knowledge set off a series of events that would forever change the course of the heist. As time went on, Krugman became increasingly nervous and angry. He demanded his share of the $500,000 from the heist, which put more pressure on the already tense situation. Burke worried that Krugman might be close to informing the FBI, which could jeopardize their carefully planned operation. In a scary turn of events, Burke and Sepe took matters into their own hands. They brutally ended Krugman's life at Asaro's fence factory. To hide the evidence, they dismembered his body and concealed it. Even today, Krugman's remains have never been found, leaving a haunting void in the search for answers. In 1986, Krugman was legally declared dead, leaving behind his grieving wife, Fran. She received $135,000 from his life insurance policy, but no amount of money could compare to the weight of her loss and the lingering questions that remain unanswered. On January 17, 1979, the dark story of the Lufthansa heist took a sinister turn with the arrival of Richard Eaton, a con artist from Florida who knew Tom Monteleone. Eaton's involvement with Burke would prove to be a fatal mistake. Eaton's unfortunate journey began when he stole a huge amount of $250,000 from Burke. He did this by tricking Burke with a deceitful cocaine scam, taking advantage of Burke's weaknesses. Eaton also kept some of the stolen money while it was being secretly cleaned through legitimate places, including Monteleone's club. Burke, a ruthless man who wouldn't tolerate betrayal, quickly sought revenge against Eaton. Filled with anger, Burke planned a painful end for Eaton, making sure he paid the highest price for his daring actions. Eaton's life was cut short, and his body was found tied up and hanging in a chilling meat freezer truck, a horrifying example of Burke's cruelty. Eventually, justice caught up with Burke, although it took several years. In 1985, he was found guilty of murdering Eaton and faced the consequences for his terrible crime. The court pronounced him guilty and sentenced him to 20 years in prison, bringing a sense of accountability and a bit of closure for Eaton's tragic fate. In the Lufthansa heist story, Tom Monteleone had a significant part to play, leaving a lasting impact on the web of mystery and deception that unfolded. He was a prominent figure in the Florida underworld, known as both a restaurant owner and a mobster, which gave him influence and authority. Monteleone's involvement in the heist began because he owned the Players Club, a local bar where members of the Burke gang frequently met. It was within the secretive corners of this establishment that Monteleone's supposed role in a questionable scheme started to become apparent. Burke, never one to shy away from blaming others, accused Monteleone of conspiring with Richard Eaton and Ferrara in a fake cocaine deal. According to Burke, Monteleone not only participated in the scheme, but also received a share of the illegal profits, cleverly disguising them through his club. These grave accusations tarnished Monteleone's once thriving empire. The implications of Monteleone's alleged involvement in the criminal world shocked those connected to the Lufthansa heist. The extent of betrayal and the intricate connections and questionable alliances revealed the dark side of the criminal network they operated within. However, as the story unfolded, Monteleone's fate remained uncertain. His role in the heist, the level of his involvement, and the consequences he faced for his alleged actions remained a topic of speculation and guesswork. The mystery surrounding Monteleone serves as a reminder that in the underworld, where secrets and whispers prevail, the truth can be elusive and justice hard to find. Now in the heist, Louis Kafora plays a significant role as a fascinating figure in the criminal underworld. He was a parking lot owner in Brooklyn and was known for his involvement in money laundering, which made him an important player after the daring robbery. Kafora's connection to the heist can be traced back to his time as a cellmate of Burke while they were in prison. It was during their time behind bars that they formed a secret alliance, leading to their collaboration after their release. Burke saw Kafora as a trustworthy partner and gave him the task of laundering some of the stolen money through his legitimate parking lot network. However, Kafora's flashy and indiscreet lifestyle proved to be his downfall. He had a habit of living a showy life, and unfortunately, he shared sensitive information about mob operations, including the heist, with his wife, Joanna. This turned out to be a fatal mistake. Burke became increasingly worried about Kafora's loose talk and his wife's knowledge of their illegal activities. He feared that the information could jeopardize the entire operation and their safety. As a result, Burke made a chilling decision. He ordered the execution of both Kafora and Joanna. Kafora's bold act of buying a custom pink Cadillac Fleetwood for his wife, a clear symbol of their newfound wealth, went against Burke's explicit orders. Driving this extravagant car so close to the ongoing FBI investigation at Kennedy Airport unknowingly put Kafora and his wife under the scrutiny of law enforcement. The aftermath of Kafora's daring act and their subsequent disappearance left many unanswered questions. Their bodies were never found, adding a layer of mystery to their ultimate fate. Now, Joanna Kafora remains a mysterious figure. As the wife of Louis Kafora, it is presumed that she met a tragic end alongside him. However, the details of their fate remain unknown, leaving behind unanswered questions and a sense of curiosity. Another significant person involved in the aftermath of the heist was Joe Buddha Manry, a supervisor who worked the night shift at Air France Cargo. Due to his long association with Burke, he played a crucial role in planning the daring robbery. His insider knowledge provided vital information that guided the crew during the meticulous execution of the heist. After the heist, both Manry and his co-worker, Robert McMahon, faced a crucial decision: cooperate with the authorities and enter the witness protection program, or remain loyal to the criminal underworld. Despite the opportunity for protection and a fresh start, they chose to stay true to the criminal world and refused to cooperate. Tragically, 5 months later, a chilling discovery was made. Manry and McMahon were found dead in a parked car, having been brutally executed. The fatal shots that ended their lives added another layer of darkness to the unfolding story. The circumstances surrounding the murders of Joe Buddha Manry and Robert McMahon deepen the intrigue and highlight the danger associated with the Lufthansa heist. Like many others involved, their deaths leave behind a haunting void, as the truth behind their killings may forever remain unknown. As we have seen, Lufthansa Heist tells a dark and twisted story that involves people from different backgrounds, including the mysterious Robert McMahon. McMahon worked as a supervisor during the night shift at Air France at Kennedy Airport. His past involvement in a previous Air France robbery alongside Henry Hill raised suspicions about his role in the audacious Lufthansa heist. It is believed that McMahon played a significant part in helping Joe Buddha Manry with the careful planning of the heist. Their partnership seemed to have a connection that extended beyond the present, as their past involvement in the earlier Air France robbery resurfaced during the Lufthansa operation. Unfortunately, the aftermath of the heist was harsh for McMahon. Tragically, 5 months later, his lifeless body was found in a parked car alongside Manry's. They had both been shot execution-style, ending their lives in a ruthless manner. Their deaths left behind many unanswered questions and a veil of mystery. The circumstances surrounding McMahon's fate only deepened the interest and complexity of the Lufthansa saga. His suspected involvement in both the Air France robbery and the Lufthansa heist raises suspicions about his actions. The truth behind his alleged role and the reasons for his execution-style killing may forever remain unclear, hidden away in the history of criminal activities. Now our next person stands out: Paolo Licastri. His life took him from Sicily to the criminal underworld of the Gambino crime family. As an illegal immigrant and notorious drug trafficker associated with the pizza connection, Licastri found himself entangled in the heist, although not directly involved in carrying it out. Licastri held a crucial role as a trusted associate of the Gambino family. He acted as a liaison, overseeing the plans and ensuring smooth operations, while also protecting the interests of the Gambinos, who were entitled to receive $200,000 from the stolen money. His position highlighted the complexity and wide-ranging impact of the heist. However, fate was cruel to Licastri. 6 months after the daring robbery, his lifeless body was found amidst a burning trash heap. He had been stripped of his clothing and shot multiple times. The brutal way he met his end speaks volumes about the dangerous and ruthless nature of the criminal underworld, where loyalty is fleeting and betrayal can lead to deadly consequences. The murder of Licastri remains a mystery, leaving investigators and those captivated by the Lufthansa saga with unanswered questions. The motives behind his execution-style killing and the identities of those responsible may forever remain unknown, adding an element of intrigue and uncertainty to his tragic fate. Now moving on. There is violence and betrayal extended beyond James Burke's direct orders. In 1979, several individuals involved in planning, executing, or dealing with the aftermath of the daring robbery met tragic ends. One of these figures was Thomas "Tommy" DeSimone, known for his notorious history alongside Burke's associate Henry Hill. DeSimone's involvement in the earlier Air France robbery in 1967 further solidified his place in the criminal underworld. However, it was his unrelated actions that sealed his own fate. On January 14, 1979, DeSimone mysteriously vanished. It was later revealed that he had committed the brutal murders of 2 esteemed members of the Gambino crime family, William "Billy" Batts Bentvena and Ronald "Foxy" Giroth. These acts of violence unrelated to the Lufthansa heist pushed DeSimone deeper into darkness, closing off any chance of redemption. In the complex world of the Lufthansa heist, there are individuals whose lives intersected with the main players, creating a story of mystery and sadness. One such person is Teresa Ferrara, a woman connected to various figures involved in the crime. Ferrara was involved romantically with Thomas DeSimone and associated with both Richard Eaton and Tom Monteleone, immersing herself in a dangerous world of illegal activities. Unfortunately, her involvement in the heist led to her untimely death. On February 10, 1979, Ferrara disappeared, leaving behind many unanswered questions. It wasn't until May 18th that a shocking discovery shocked the community. Ferrara's dismembered torso was found floating in the waters of Barnegat Inlet, near Toms River, New Jersey, a haunting symbol of the dark side of the criminal world. Next, there is a person whose involvement went far beyond the initial crime. Angelo Sepe, a member of the Lucchese family, had connections to Burke, DeSimone, and Tony Rodriguez, placing him at the center of a complex network. Sepe carried the weight of responsibility for many of the chilling murders that occurred after the heist. Sepe's role in the Lufthansa heist made him a significant player in the aftermath, operating in the dangerous world of shadows. However, his own journey took a tragic and dark turn. Reports surfaced that Sepe and his girlfriend became victims of an unidentified Lucchese hit squad, shocking everyone. This happened about a week after they boldly robbed a drug trafficker associated with the Lucchese family. Among the victims of this heist is Joanna Lombardo, a young woman whose life was tragically cut short on July 18, 1984. At only 19 years old, Lombardo became caught up in the dangerous world of Angelo Sepe, meeting a horrifying end. It is believed that she was shot in the mouth, a chilling reminder of the brutal violence that permeates this criminal story. The consequences of the heist reached beyond the immediate group of culprits, even affecting family ties. Frank James Burke, the son of Jimmy Burke, the mastermind behind the daring robbery, found himself involved in a different web of illegal activities. Suspected to have participated in the heist, Frank James Burke's life took a tragic turn when a drug deal went wrong and resulted in his death. A fatal encounter with his drug dealer sealed his fate, adding another layer of tragedy to the already intricate Lufthansa saga. The complex story of the Lufthansa heist keeps unraveling, revealing a group of people caught up in a web of lies and betrayal. One of these individuals is Janet Barbieri, the girlfriend and later wife of Louis Werner. Barbieri found herself thrust into the spotlight when she testified against Werner before a grand jury, forever changing the course of their lives. William Bill Fischetti, a relative of the mob and owner of a taxi dispatch company, added another layer of complexity to the aftermath of the heist. Known for his involvement in selling stolen bearer bonds, Fischetti operated in the shady world of illegal transactions, blurring the lines between what's legal and what's criminal. Peter Grunwald, one of the organizers of the Lufthansa heist, faced a perilous dilemma. Betraying his friend and co-worker, Louis Werner, Grunwald testified against him, a fateful choice that had significant consequences for both of their futures. Trust was shattered, and their friendship became collateral damage in the pursuit of justice. Frank Mena, a numbers runner, experienced firsthand the brutal consequences of association. Targeted by Angelo Sepe and Daniel Rizzo due to the incompetence of his boss, Martin Krugman, Mena suffered the ruthless tactics of these individuals. In a world where loyalty is fragile, Mena paid the price for the failings of those around him. Louis Werner, an accountant by profession, led a double life as a money launderer. With his involvement in the Lufthansa heist, Werner's fate became intricately tied to the criminal underworld. As the pressure mounted, the choices he made would determine his ultimate destiny. Amidst this intricate web, Henry Hill, a central figure in the heist, found himself at a crossroads. Arrested on separate drug charges in April 1980, Hill succumbed to intense paranoia. Fearing retaliation from his former associates, he made the life-changing decision to become an informant, seeking protection for himself and his family through the Witness Protection Program. While his testimony didn't directly lead to convictions in the Lufthansa heist, it exposed the criminal activities of individuals like Vario and Burke, ultimately leading to their downfall. The bold Lufthansa heist has inspired filmmakers to bring its captivating story to the screen in two notable television films. The $10 Million Getaway, 1991, and The Big Heist, 2001, offer viewers an intriguing look into the intricate details of this audacious crime and its aftermath. Interestingly, this fascinating story might remind movie fans of Martin Scorsese's famous 1990 film Goodfellas, which was inspired by Nicholas Pileggi's book Wise Guys, published in 1985. The book tells the stories of these mid-level crooks associated with the Lucchese crime family from the lively borough of Queens, New York. The movie's version captivated audiences around the world. The daring heist was incredibly significant. It was a turning point that had a profound impact on the lives of those involved in the daring crew. This group included famous mobsters like Henry Hill and Jimmy Burke, as well as a diverse range of individuals, such as gamblers, bookies, and even wig salesmen. These characters seemed like they stepped out of a surreal painting. Motivated by a common ambition, they devised a plan that seemed impossible, defying all expectations and leaving everyone in